Most brands say they're challengers, very few actually are. Let's talk about the difference. You're listening to Making Mighty, the Challenger Sessions. I'm Simon Greenwood-Haig, fractional commercial lead for food and drink brands that think like challengers. I've worked with big companies, I've worked with small companies, I've worked with food and drink brands across the industry, and this show is about the people who are shaking things up, founders, buyers, operators, brand builders, and the lessons that you can only learn by actually doing the work. So I've spent years working with challenger brands and I keep seeing the same struggles over and over again. That's why I've launched this podcast. I see lots of noise, lots of opinions, but not much of it grounded in honest talk from inside the industry. I wanted a place to have proper conversations with the people who actually do this day to day, not the ones rewriting the theory on LinkedIn, but the ones that are in the trenches trying to get their products on shelf, to grow them, and to keep them alive. This podcast is my way of teaching, sharing, and connecting the challenger community. It's a place where founders, buyers, and operators can speak freely without feeling the need for gloss or the polished brand stories or the business BS. It gives me a chance to put useful thinking out into the world in a way that's practical and real. I don't want any jargon, I don't want any faff, no fluff, no fairy tales, just what actually works. So what is a challenger? A challenger brand isn't about being small. It's about behaving differently. Being a challenger is a mindset, not a market position or a size or a head count. It's the decision to question the default way the category, the industry, or a product works rather than accept it. Challengers move quickly, not recklessly. They don't chase listings for the sake of telling people they're listed and the vanity. They earn them by being ready. Challengers solve real problems that buyers actually care about. They don't pretend to be perfect. They adapt, they listen, they improve. And in food and drink, challengers win by being practical, not loud. You don't have to be the coolest brand or the weirdest brand or the trendiest brand to be a challenger. You just have to understand the job that your product is meant to do and then do it better than the people who came before you. That is the real difference. They are the real challengers. There are three truths that I keep seeing in food and drink. The first one, most brands underestimate the basics: packaging, pricing, margins, and availability. They get too obsessed with brand love before they've earned the right to be on the shelf in the first place. The second truth is that buyers don't buy hype, they buy proof. Every challenger that wins understands the retailer's reality, not just how the brand feels or how clever the story sounds. Buyers want confidence, they don't want chaos. Third truth: brands that survive stay close to the customer and even closer to the numbers. The romantic ones usually die early. The practical ones who punch above their weight because they understand what's actually going on in the category. These are the patterns that I've seen again and again in food and drink and in challengers. There are some myths that I also want to kill early on. There's a myth that you need to raise money early. You don't. There are plenty of amazing brands out there who crack it through sharp operations and discipline before they ever raise a penny. Another myth is that you need to spend big marketing budget. Believe me, you don't. You need a point of difference that people understand in 10 seconds. Far more important than a big budget. My favourite myth, though, is that a buyer listing is the finishing line. It's really not. It's the starting gun. And if you're not ready for what happens next, the pressure, the service levels, promotion, the expectations, it can really break you. So it's better to know that up front. Finally, so what is the takeaway of the first episode of Making Mighty the Challenger Sessions? Challenger brands aren't the loudest, the youngest, or the coolest. They're the ones that understand the problem that they're solving and then execute that relentlessly. That's who this show's for. And that's what we're going to explore in every single episode, whether it's through my own insights and experiences or my guests. So that ends our first episode of Making Mighty the Challenger Sessions. Thanks for listening. If you found this useful, please share it with someone in the food and drink industry who you think will get value from it. And subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, or catch the clips on YouTube and LinkedIn. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And I'll see you next time.